I am at a Czech cemetery in the Wilson Township of Colfax County, Nebraska. Up until a few years ago, a Catholic church sat in this location. The late 1860s marked the first settlers from Bohemia and Moravia to arrive in Colfax County, Nebraska. Bohemia is a western region of the Czech Republic, while Moravia is a region in the eastern part of the Czech Republic. Culturally, Catholic Bohemians were influenced by Roman Catholicism and Germany, while Catholic Moravians were influenced by the Byzantines. These Catholic Czech immigrants began gathering here for prayer in their dugouts and sod houses. They received an occasional priest who traveled southwest from West Point or Olean, or one of the Franciscans coming up from Columbus. For the Czechs here in the Wilson area, the nearest church was 10 miles away, Holy Trinity at Hine, and St. Augustine at Schuyler, both built in 1878. By the early 1880s, Catholics here began thinking about building their own church, and thereby ensuring more regular visits from priests. For a time, they considered building a church together with the Dry Creek Moravians, some 6 miles to the east, but due to some unknown disagreement, the two groups finally decided to build their own churches. The Church of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary was built at Dry Creek in 1881. In 1882, 20 Czech and 13 German families held several meetings and finally decided to build their church here in Section 35 of the Wilson Precinct, about a mile south of the Fulton Post Office. Joseph Mrazek donated 5 acres of land here for the church and cemetery. His son, Joseph F.C. Mrazek, would be the first to be baptized at the church. Construction of a small wooden frame church proceeded, and in 1883 the church was blessed by Father Vorka from Abbey. It was given the name of Our Lady of Perpetual Help. The first mention of Our Lady of Perpetual Help in the official Catholic directory comes from 1884, listed as a station served by Father Francis Turek from Sacred Heart in Olean. From 1885 until 1914, St. Mary's was a mission of Holy Trinity at Hine. And then in 1914, it became a mission of the newly formed Bohemian parish of Schuyler, St. Mary's. In 1911, a Catholic workman's social hall was built about 200 feet north of the church, along the long driveway from the country road here to the church and cemetery. For 50 years, this social hall served as the religious, cultural, and social center of the community. Dances, funeral dinners, wedding receptions, and annual Pot festivals. In Czech, the word Pot means pilgrimage. The Pot festival is an event that takes place in almost every Czech town or village. It is a pilgrimage to the village church on the feast day of their patron saint. By 1917, the parish had grown to the point where a new church was needed. A new church was built in late Gothic Revival style, with 5 pairs of stained glass windows. The steeple was capped by a Celtic cross. The church was consecrated on August 27, 1918. In 1933, the parish celebrated its 50th anniversary with a grand celebration. At that time, there were between 60 to 70 families. In 1961, the social hall was sold and removed from the grounds. Proceeds from the sale were used to purchase the 8-foot-tall marble crucifix that was carved in Italy and placed behind me in the cemetery. Over the years, the St. Mary's congregation declined along with the surrounding rural population. After August of 1977, the priests from Schuyler no longer came out here weekly for Sunday services, though for a time there was an annual Mass here for Memorial Day. Our Lady of Perpetual Help Church was listed on the National Register of Historic Properties in 1982. In 1983, about 250 people gathered again at the church to celebrate a Mass, marking 100 years since the parish was founded. The Wilson Church was also used as a backdrop for a scene in the 1992 movie O Pioneer, based on the novel by Willa Cather. And the scene can be found about an hour into the movie. In 1999, a tornado severely damaged the church, and it could no longer be used for services. The Columbus Telegram reported, "A historic church that withstood the rigors of Mother Nature for more than 100 years was gone in a matter of minutes as storms swept through the area." Afterward, the building fell into disrepair and became subject to vandalism. In 2017, the silver metal gate to the cemetery was also vandalized, but fortunately has been restored today. With the building beyond reasonable repair and the lack of funds to restore it, the church was taken down in January of 2021. One leader of the project commented, "It'd be nice to keep the church, but just for common sense reasons, it's got to be taken down. It's going to be a sad day, but nothing lives forever. Nothing lasts forever." Although the wood frame building is now gone, precious artifacts of the church can still be found. The stained glass windows that were undamaged after the 1999 tornado were incorporated into the side chapel of the St. Patrick's Church in Fremont. The Celtic cross from the church spire was removed and saved, and there are plans for it to be incorporated into a memorial structure to be placed in the cemetery. The inscription on the cemetery gate says, "Horibitov Pani Maria," the cemetery of the Virgin Mary. Today, few here can read this language, even those of Bohemian or Moravian ancestry. Yet this and other Czech cemeteries remain as a reminder of the diversity of those who settled Nebraska. Already in 1906, Jeffrey Dolezal Hrebic published a poem reflecting upon this truth. Yonder the southward hills rise fair, and pleasant green fields bask in the sun. The view is broad and lovely there, where the dusty road doth upward run. On the very crown of the highest hill, where the tallest oaks lift their arms toward God, above the clatter and din of lathe and mill, white marbles gleam athwart the sod. 'Tis the burial ground of a foreign race, a race from the heart of Europe sprung, men and women of open face that speak in the strange Bohemian tongue. Down in the city that gleams below, with its streets and lanes and its roofs and domes, in its southern corner, row on row, they have built their garden-bordered homes. But here on the hill is the burial ground, where the sainted dead in their last long sleep, 'neath many a verdant flowery mound, the eternal watches keep. Snowy marble and granite brown, and blooming urns of bronze and stone, carved and graven with cross and crown, and with soft green moss o'ergrown. And the epitaphs and wreathed rhymes in the Czechish tongue are writ, that the men and women of future times may muse and wonder a bit. For the dialect sweet of the pioneers old is giving slowly but surely way to the plain smooth speech of the Saxon bold. The Czechish weakens day by day. Some day these stone-carved tearful rhymes shall be a riddle, a puzzle, nay. Folk will doubt that in bygone times many could read each tombstone's lay. Still here on the hill in the burial ground, the Czechish dead in their last long sleep, 'neath grass o'ergrown, forgotten mound, the eternal watch will keep.